Ready to test your skills on some of the must-know practice, ethics, and disclosure questions on the real estate exam? In this video, we're presenting 35 essential questions that will deepen your understanding and boost your exam readiness. And don't miss what's happening in the bottom corner. It's designed to supercharge your exam prep. We'll tell you more about that in just a minute. Let's dive in and get started.
Real estate practice. Agency relationships and duties. What is the primary fiduciary duty owed by an agent to their principal? Is it A, obedience, B, C, disclosure, or D, confidentiality? The answer is B, loyalty. Loyalty is a fundamental fiduciary duty where an agent prioritizes the principal's interests above all, including personal gain. Which of the following is a true statement regarding dual agency? Is it A, both parties must consent in writing? B, it eliminates the need for confidentiality? C, the agent can accept higher commission without disclosure? Or D, one party needs to consent verbally? The answer is A, both parties must consent in writing. Dual agency requires informed written consent from both parties, ensuring transparency and protecting interests.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsy.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsy, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
In a buyer's agency agreement, which duty is not owed to the seller? Is it A, honesty, B, fiduciary duty, C, disclosure of facts known to buyer's interest, or D, care? The answer is B, fiduciary duty. In a buyer's agency agreement, fiduciary duties are strictly for the buyer, guarding their interests exclusively. A real estate agent fails to disclose a known defect in the property. What fiduciary duty has been breached? Is it A, loyalty, B, confidentiality, C, disclosure, or D, care? The answer is C, disclosure. Disclosure requires an agent to inform their clients of all material facts about a property or transaction, ensuring clients make informed decisions. In an agency relationship, when is the duty of accounting violated? Is it A, an agent fails to communicate offers? B, the agent mixes personal funds with client funds? C, the agent provides advice on market analysis? Or D, the agent does not negotiate the best price? The answer is B, the agent mixes personal funds with client funds. The duty of accounting requires agents to maintain clear, separate accounts for client funds, avoiding any personal commingling. What type of agency relationship allows an agent to act on behalf of a principal, yet the principal can continue to negotiate with multiple agents? Is it A, exclusive agency, B, dual agency, C, single agency, or D, open agency? The answer is D, agency. An open agency does not restrict the principal from engaging multiple agents, unlike an exclusive agency. The agent who secures the transaction earns the commission. In a fiduciary relationship, which duty obligates the agent to act in the best interest of the principal? Is it A, loyalty, B, disclosure, C, reasonable care, or D, obedience? The answer is A, loyalty. The duty of loyalty ensures that agents prioritize the principal's interest above all else, avoiding conflicts of interest and self-dealing. Which duty requires an agent to inform the principal of all known facts that could affect the transaction? Is it A, confidentiality, B, disclosure, C, accounting, or D, loyalty? The answer is B, disclosure. The duty of disclosure requires agents to pass on all relevant information that might influence the principal's decision in the transaction. What duty is breached when an agent shares sensitive client information with a competing party? Is it A, obedience, B, confidentiality, C, accountability, or D, disclosure? The answer is B, confidentiality. The duty of confidentiality prohibits agents from sharing a client's personal and critical information without consent, even beyond the transaction's close.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Which of the following duties is primarily concerned with maintaining accurate records of financial transactions between agent and principal? Is it A, disclosure, B, confidentiality, C, accounting, or D, loyalty? The answer is C, accounting. The duty of accounting mandates agents to manage, track, and report on financial transactions with clients, ensuring transparency and accuracy. Which of the following actions demonstrates a breach of the duty of loyalty in a real estate agency relationship? Is it A, disclosing a client's lowest acceptable price to a potential buyer, B, providing accurate information about the property to all potential buyers, C, strictly following the client's instructions even if it leads to a longer sale process, or D, informing the client of all offers received regardless of their amount? The answer is A, disclosing a client's lowest acceptable price to a potential buyer. The duty of loyalty requires agents to prioritize their client's interests. Disclosing sensitive information like the lowest price a client will accept could harm the client's negotiating position. Which of the following is the primary obligation of an agent under a fiduciary relationship? Is it A, to maximize the property's sales price, B, to reduce transaction time as much as possible, C, to ensure both parties have equal information, or D, to act in the best interests of the client? The answer is D, to act in the best interests of the client. In a fiduciary relationship, the agent's primary obligation is loyalty to the client, which includes acting in the client's best interests and maintaining confidentiality. What is the main purpose of dual agency disclosure? Is it A, to comply with federal real estate laws, B, to inform the client about potential conflicts of interest, C, to guarantee the highest sale price for the property, or D, to minimize agent liability in transactions? The answer is B, to inform the client about potential conflicts of interest. Dual agency disclosure is critical in informing both parties about the agent representing conflicting interests, allowing them to make informed decisions about consent. Ethics and professional conduct. Which of the following is considered a breach of a real estate agent's duty of loyalty to their client? Is it A, disclosing confidential information to gain a personal advantage, B, setting a fair market price for a client's property, C, communicating regularly with clients during a transaction, or D, failing to suggest a higher listing price than the client desires? The answer is A, disclosing confidential information to gain a personal advantage. A real estate agent owes a duty of loyalty to their client, prioritizing the client's interest even above their own. Disclosing confidential information for personal gain is a clear breach. When a real estate agent represents both the buyer and seller in a transaction, it is known as, is it A, exclusive agency, B, dual, C, open listing, or D, single agency? The answer is B, agency. Dual agency requires full disclosure and consent from both the buyer and seller, as it can lead to conflicts of interest. Which of the following is true regarding a real estate professional's duty to disclose defects in a property? Is it A, they must disclose all known material defects? B, they only need to disclose defects if asked by the buyer? C, they do not need to disclose potential defects? Or D, they can rely on the seller's disclosure only? The answer is A, they must disclose all known material defects. Agents have a duty to disclose any material defects they know of that could influence the decision-making of a buyer. What is the primary purpose of the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act? Is it A, to ensure fair housing practices? B, to regulate commission structures? C, to protect consumers from unnecessarily high settlement charges? Or D, to mandate continuing education for real estate professionals? The answer is C, to protect consumers from unnecessarily high settlement charges. RESPA requires transparency in real estate settlement costs and prohibits certain abusive practices to protect consumers. If a real estate professional encounters a situation that is ethically unclear, what is their best course of action? Is it A, proceed based on personal judgment? B, follow the least resistant path? C, ignore the situation to avoid conflict? Or D, consult the code of ethics and seek advice? The answer is D, consult the code of ethics and seek advice. Consulting the code of ethics and seeking guidance from more experienced professionals helps maintain ethical conduct and public trust. Which of the following actions best demonstrates a real estate agent adhering to ethical guidelines? Is it A, disclosing only favorable information about a property? B, keeping client information confidential unless legally required to disclose? C, encouraging a client to make an offer above their budget? Or D, showing a preference for cash buyers over others? The answer is B, keeping client information confidential unless legally required to disclose. Real estate agents must maintain confidentiality and handle client information with care unless disclosure is legally mandated. This is a fundamental aspect of ethical conduct. What is considered an ethical breach in real estate practice? Is it A, communicating with potential clients through professional channels? B, providing accurate market information to clients? C, misrepresenting property details to potential buyers? Or D, offering referrals to approved service providers? The answer is C, misrepresenting property details to potential buyers. Misrepresenting property details to buyers violates ethical standards, as agents must provide truthful and accurate information to all parties involved. How should a real estate professional handle a conflict of interest situation? Is it A, by ignoring the conflict and proceeding as usual? B, by disclosing the conflict to all parties involved? C, by acting solely in their own best interest? Or D, by seeking guidance from the State Real Estate Commission? The answer is B, by disclosing the conflict to all parties involved. Proper ethical conduct requires real estate professionals to disclose any potential conflicts of interest to all affected parties, ensuring transparency and fairness. Which behavior aligns with the ethical duty of honesty and integrity in real estate? Is it A, exaggerating the benefits of a property to make a sale? B, advising a client to falsify income documents for a loan? C, accurately reporting all offers to a client promptly? Or D, hiding known defects of a property from potential buyers? The answer is C, accurately reporting all offers to a client promptly. Honesty and integrity in real estate require agents to report all offers accurately and in a timely manner, building trust with clients and other parties.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Disclosure obligations. What is the primary purpose of disclosure obligations in real estate transactions? Is it A, to protect the seller from legal action? B, to inform buyers of material facts? C, to finalize legal contracts? Or D, to increase property value? The answer is B, to inform buyers of material facts. Disclosure obligations exist primarily to ensure buyers have all necessary information about a property's condition before completing a transaction. Which party is generally responsible for providing property disclosures during a real estate sale? Is it A, the buyer, B, the real estate agent, C, the seller, or D, the lender? The answer is C, the seller. Sellers must disclose known material defects about the property to prospective buyers to prevent misinformation and liability issues. How should known hazards like lead-based paint be addressed under disclosure obligations? Is it A, ignore them if the buyer does not ask? B, mention them after closing the sale? C, remove the hazards before selling? Or D, provide a notice and lead hazard pamphlet according to regulations? The answer is D, provide a notice and lead hazard pamphlet according to regulations. Federal law requires sellers to disclose known lead paint hazards and provide informational booklets to ensure buyer awareness and safety. What should a seller disclose if their property has been damaged by a natural disaster? Is it A, only if repairs were not completed? B, full details about the damage and repairs? C, nothing if the buyer hasn't directly asked? Or D, only if they are legally obligated by the local authorities? The answer is B, full details about the damage and repairs. Disclosing prior damage and repairs ensures transparency, helps buyers make informed decisions, and minimizes future legal disputes.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsy link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero, swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
What must be included in a seller's disclosure concerning neighborhood nuisances like noise? Is it A, all known nuisances impacting property's livability? B, only if the noise affects property value? C, only if a neighbor has complained again in writing? Or D, nothing, as it is not a physical defect? The answer is A, all known nuisances impacting property's livability. Disclosure of neighborhood issues like consistent noise is vital as they can affect buyer decisions and enjoyment of the property. What is the primary purpose of mandatory disclosure obligations in real estate transactions? Is it A, protect sellers from lawsuits? B, ensure buyers are fully informed about potential property defects? C, increase commissions for real estate agents? Or D, speed up the closing process? The answer is B, ensure buyers are fully informed about potential property defects. Disclosure obligations safeguard consumer interests by ensuring transparency about significant property defects or legal issues, supporting informed decision-making by buyers. Which of the following is a seller not typically required to disclose? Is it A, a minor paint chip in a bedroom? B, known structural defects? C, past termite infestations that were remediated? Or D, legal disputes affecting the property? The answer is A, a minor paint chip in a bedroom. Minor aesthetic issues typically do not require disclosure, while significant defects or issues that could affect the property's value or use must be disclosed. Under federal law, what must be disclosed regarding lead-based paint? Is it A, lead paint usage in surrounding neighborhoods? B, current owners' personal opinions on paint quality? C, all renovations that used any form of paint? Or D, presence of lead-based paint in properties built before 1978? The answer is D. Presence of lead-based paint in properties built before 1978. Under the Residential Lead-Based Paint Hazard Reduction Act, sellers must disclose known lead-based paint hazards in homes built before 1978. Why is a seller advised to provide a property condition disclosure statement? Is it A, to minimize the risk of litigation from the buyer? B, to make the property more attractive to buyers? C, to avoid providing additional warranties to the buyer? Or D, to ensure a higher appraisal value? The answer is A, to minimize the risk of litigation from the buyer. Providing a disclosure statement helps to inform buyers of known issues, thus reducing the risk of future lawsuits alleging misrepresentation or concealment. In a seller's disclosure obligation, when should known natural hazard risks be communicated to the buyer? Is it A, before the close of escrow? B, after signing the purchase agreement? C, during the final walkthrough? Or D, after the buyer moves in? The answer is A, before the close of escrow. Natural hazard disclosures must be provided before the close of escrow to inform the buyer of potential risks, ensuring transparency and allowing the buyer to reconsider the purchase. Which document must be provided by a seller to disclose known environmental hazards in a property? Is it A, environmental disclosure form? B, title insurance policy? C, seller's property disclosure statement? Or D, lease agreement? The answer is C, seller's property disclosure statement. The seller's property disclosure statement is a critical document in real estate transactions containing essential information on a property's condition and known hazards. It helps buyers make informed decisions. What is the primary purpose of providing a buyer with a lead-based paint disclosure? Is it A, to encourage the buyer to negotiate a lower price? B, to inform the buyer of potential health hazards? C, to comply with local environmental regulations? Or D, to ensure mortgage approval? The answer is B, to inform the buyer of potential health hazards. Lead-based paint disclosures are mandated by federal law for properties built before 1978 to inform buyers of health risks associated with lead exposure, promoting informed decision-making. When does a property seller's obligation to disclose material facts to the buyer end? Is it A, at the listing of the property? B, upon acceptance of the buyer's offer? C, at closing of the sale? Or D, 30 days after the sale? The answer is C, at closing of the sale. The obligation to disclose material facts typically concludes at the closing of the sale, when the property legally changes ownership. Sellers must ensure all relevant information is provided by this point.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit Birdsy.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.